The lightweight division in boxing is sort of a joke. It's one of the most anticlimactic boxing weight classes we have ever seen, because we have guys like Devin Haney, guys like Shakur Stevenson, Tank, Ryan Garcia, Lomachenko, Rolly Romero, as much as people really don't like him, George Kambosos Jr., but no one is really fighting who they should be fighting. Devin Haney should be fighting Shakur Stevenson. Devin Haney should not be fighting Ryan Garcia, who just beat some guy. He beat his mandatory opponent, but then didn't beat Tank. He's coming off of just one win, and now he's fighting for the undisputed titles, while you have Shakur Stevenson, Tank, Lomachenko, who are just waiting in the wings. In my opinion, this lightweight division has become a whack show, and you can see it with Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia saying,
I don't do cocaine. I would do a live drug test.
What do you do?
I would do a live drug test.
What do you do?
I drink and I smoke weed, and so has the majority of this room.
I mean, if you're getting ready for a fight, you shouldn't be drinking. You can be smoking if you really want to. But also, Devin Haney being the undisputed champ, to avoid Shakur, avoid Lomachenko's rematch, has only fought George Kambosos twice, and now is fighting a Ryan Garcia off of one win. It just makes this division look like a joke.
Devin Haney, whether you want to say that he beat Loma or not, like, he has been doing the work that he's supposed to be doing. It just sucks that the other parts aren't being fulfilled, because boxing has been always that rigged, that scheduled type of fixture. And look, man, I'm a big Loma guy. I know you are as well. And Loma, I mean, has been discredited his whole career, which is like wild to say. He's been the best amateur fighter. Like, he's 3 losses now, and it's weird to say that Garcia can lose and then go right back to contending for a belt or anything like that, while we had people that are, whether it's the Shakurs, that are literally just dominating, doing whatever you got to do to get to that point. It just kind of makes boxing like that obsolete part of the sport that has been going downhill since the last 30 years. But Ryan Garcia, he's not even worried about boxing at this point. He just wants the money. And it's so funny to see like the Sean O'Malley's being called out.
One was about Sugar Sean O'Malley.
I'll beat his ass in MMA, guaranteed.
In MMA?
Yeah, I'm a natural. You don't understand. I'm a natural wrestler. I just beat my security that's a wrestler. I beat him.
He can just call them out, and he's got to get a big payday, because he's not even worried about a belt at that point. You're going to make $100 million. Who cares about that? So it's just wild to think that. And even going into that, like, I don't think he beats Sugar Sean at all in MMA, because no boxer is going to beat anybody in MMA unless you're the Overeems or anybody that can just end a fight in one punch. But it's just crazy to see that's what's happening now in boxing instead of the actual boxing.
The lightweight division should be out of panic, because although Devin Haney's 25, Ryan Garcia's 25, you do have Tank, who's 29, and Lomachenko, who is 36. You're not really getting your big guys who are getting the actual proper fights, the money fights that you are looking for. While you do have the heavyweight division, who, although Usyk and Tyson Fury are at a little bit of a stumble because of Tyson Fury pulling out, you do have Ngannou coming into the scene, fighting Tyson Fury, getting the money fight. Ngannou's about to fight Anthony Joshua. Alexander Usyk, who's about to fight Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. Deontay Wilder fighting Tyson Fury. They're making the fights that should be made. And you're seeing that as well in Jamal Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. That has been a fight that everyone's been waiting for, and everyone finally got it. And we're going to see another implementation of that. And Terrence Crawford, after that, wants to fight Canelo. Boxing can be a commodity in the sport once again, where we don't have to talk about the UFC fights and how the UFC fights have been projecting and how good the fight cards are. Now we can finally maybe get these boxers who are super high level, super talented, but just not getting the fights, finally being able to fight. Except the lightweight division, which in my opinion, I think is the most stacked division of all the boxing weight classes. You have so many money fights that you could make. Even with a guy like Romero versus George Kambosos, like a fight like that will bring attention to the sport, no matter what it is. Yet, you're not seeing that, and you're not seeing people deserve a title shot. You're not seeing people beat their mandatories, beat this guy, to then fight Devin Haney. Ryan Garcia, just because of his looks and the amount of fame he does have, kind of bought his way into this fight, because he, in my opinion, he is not to the level of any of the guys that I mentioned before. Apart from his check hook, his main defense is turning his back away from you. He does not have a proper defensive maneuver to all of his movements. He relies a lot on his physical attributes. This fight, in my opinion, will be an absolute cakewalk for Devin Haney, but it's a lose-lose. I mean, Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia will make a ton of money, but in terms of legacy, we're not going to look back at Devin Haney if he keeps fighting these sort of guys. We're going to look at him as a guy that he avoided Shakur Stevenson, avoided Teofimo, avoided the Lomachenko rematch, avoided Tank. Like, all these avoiding of this undisputed champion, it's not going to bring him a legacy. Big organizations like Showtime, like Top Rank, they're starting to merge and having these one-off fights. And that's exactly what everyone's been clamoring for years, because there has been years of boxing where we're not seeing top guys fight top guys. And so we're seeing that finally. Showtime and Top Rank are finally in their little honeymoon phase where they're letting fights go on. We're seeing DAZN also letting fights go on. But the issue that we're having in this weight division is because there is the fight promotion of managers. The Devin Haney, I don't know for sure. Obviously, I've not been in a corner against Devin Haney's management, but you can tell by just how fights are produced and how fights are made that it is almost impossible to get a fight that's even. It's usually a 70-30, and we saw that with Ryan Garcia versus Tank, where Tank's management made Ryan Garcia basically cut weight and then keep the weight. Like, it was horrible for Ryan Garcia, and it's the main reason why I think he lost against Tank so quickly, and the main reason why the body shot hit so well, because there is not water around that liver. There is no hydration going on in Ryan Garcia. You're seeing that with management, where managers are getting whatever they want for their fighters, but they aren't setting up what the fans want. And I can understand that, because at the end of the day, this is a very selfish sport. People want their money. People want what they want. They want to build what they think is a legacy. But in fans' eyes, this is never going to be a legacy. What these fighters need to look up to, in my opinion, is Lennox Lewis. Lennox Lewis is one of the most underrated heavyweights of all time, because he fought everybody. He did not care what the contract was. He did not care what was going on. He just wanted to fight and fight and fight, and that's what he did. And that is why he's one of the most underrated heavyweights of all time. If anyone knows boxing, they know Lennox Lewis as one of the greater champions. But the only reason he didn't get the flair that everyone got was because he did beat a Mike Tyson who was beloved. But I think everybody should be looking at that Lennox Lewis type, where you create your legacy by fighting these guys. If you're so confident in your style, if you're so confident in your talent, fight these guys. Devin Haney versus Shakur Stevenson will be a wonderful fight, and it will build a legacy onto that, where you can get a rematch. You could get a third fight maybe, which will build up so much more money. But I think a lot of these guys are just scared of record. They don't want to give up what their record has given them.
We see fighters that are more worried about getting that zero taken away, so they're just shying away from any type of competition, and it sucks because, like, fighter safety is paramount. But at the end of the day, like, you just start to see, whether it's in the UFC, whether it's in boxing, once you get that first loss, that second loss, like, you know it's going to keep coming. And since that has kind of been the mindset shift, people have just been ducking fights. And you will never be considered a GOAT because you have the Mayweathers, you have the Canelos, you have, like, I mean, dude, the countless fighters that you can point to that have less than 5 losses, 6, 7 losses. And when you start to go downhill, I mean, look at at least in the UFC, the Tony Fergusons and those type of fighters that just go on 7-fight losing streaks. And it's like, at that point, do you risk losing your legacy because you want to keep fighting and you want to keep doing that? Or do you cut ties, you start ducking people, and you want to preserve and essentially pad your record? But honestly, getting one fight can set you up for life. So I think that's what we're starting to see, and it kind of sucks as you sit there and watch your favorite fighter maybe 5, 6 times, and then you see them ducking the rest of their career. So it sucks, but I mean, I think that's just where we're at right now, at least in boxing and maybe fighting in general. But it's I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
I think that is perfectly said. I don't like it. I mean, I don't think anyone likes what is going on in boxing when it does come to the lightweight division.
So if you absolutely hate where boxing's at right now and you think that there's changes that need to be made, please comment. Let us know what you guys think. Sadi and I would love to keep doing videos like this and keep doing more breakdowns, but we just need to know what you guys think. So thank you guys for watching. As always, it's been Studs.